Hi Year 11, I hope you're good. So, not only am I making sort of my own resources, it's quite useful to look at what AQA offer as well. All of these AQA resources are public access. You can Google them and get them yourselves. They're available for us teachers to use. And I came across this the other day, and I thought I'd just do a quick video just to sort of take you through them, because just one of these videos could be the trigger that helps you to really understand what these commands mean. Understanding these commands is so important to the overall process of revision. It's not just knowing what you need to write, it's knowing how you need to write it. Now, I've already done a video on the evaluative command words that we can see here, but really, when your command is involving one of these four, you need to really be looking at making an informed judgment. So you're looking to really back up what you're saying with clear AO1, so really specific AO1 about whatever you're writing about. You may need to consider different points of view. So if it's an agreement question, you may need to look at a little bit of disagreement as well, just to show that you have got that balance. And you should come to a clear conclusion. Often in your conclusion, all you're doing is just summarising what you've written about and saying again clearly whether you agree or disagree, or wherever you are. Okay. An example question that AQA have given us here. The physical environment is an important resource for the tourism industry in Bali. Use figure 2 in your own understanding to discuss this statement. So straight away, we're looking at 6 marks, so it's ECS times 2. The command word is discuss, it has been boxed look, and you have to consider both sides of the argument. It's a discussion. You're looking at figure 2 and your own understanding, maybe from your own fieldwork studies. So this could be ecotourism in Malaysia. And you're looking here at the physical environment is an important resource, and you're linking back to this. Okay, so it's probably going to be to do with the landscape of the area that attracts people in. If you know of Bali, it is beautiful, and it's obviously wanting you to refer to that. So again, that little bit of balance. Okay, so you would say it is an important resource for these reasons. However, it's not just this, and you could give that little bit of balance. With these kind of questions, your tips for success: open with your judgment. Say clearly whether you agree or disagree, or whatever the question is asking for, right at the very, very start, and then repeat that in your conclusion. Use lots of really good AO1. Use those phrases such as because, this means that, as a result, in conclusion. It forces you to explain. And then you've got some other counter-argument statements here, some connectives. However, on the other hand, whereas. So using those statements is a really good sort of easy way to force you to explain. Okay, the way this was explained to me when I was your age, my geography teacher said to me, you would never finish a spoken sentence with, on the other hand. You will always carry on after it, so it forces you to explain. And use information from the figure. Okay, it's really, really useful. Don't need to spend too long on these. These ones are quite straightforward. Identify, name, state, give, and define. You're just saying something clearly. You're just naming something. Okay, you are saying something. These ones, good revision usually covers you. Paper 3 here. Look, identify 2 data collection techniques that could be used to carry out a geographical fieldwork investigation in one of the areas shown. 2 marks, 2 identifications. That's it. Keep these answers short and focused. Look closely here. Look at one of the areas shown. Read your questions carefully. It might be asking you to refer to something specifically, so just bear that in mind. Again, pretty straightforward, those ones. Okay, outline, suggest, and explain. I think they're all together here because I would say that all of these are relatively similar. So I've always said a suggest and an outline are just hidden explains. So a lot of questions, the full tariff, 1 mark to 9 mark, will use these commands. But what they effectively just want you to do is explain. Just set out the reasons for something. Just tell me how something works. So with these, you've got to really read the question and understand what it is asking for. Okay, you've got to really understand what it's asking for. If it is a 9 or 6 mark, explain, outline, suggest, play it safe, just bob a little conclusion at the bottom. Sometimes for suggest, in particular, suggest 6 and 9 markers, mark schemes will ask for a concluding statement. So try and just bob one in just to be safe, okay? Usual AOs across the board, knowledge, understanding, application of that, so using it, and geographical fieldwork, so just using those figures and stuff like that. Explain how increasing use of fossil fuels and changes in agriculture may have contributed to global changes in temperature. Again, command word, so AO1, AO2, as you can see here clearly. 4 marks, EC times 2, and it's going to want a section on fossil fuels and a section on changes in agriculture. If you do not mention those 2, you will not get full marks. So just bear that in mind. Structure, it's pretty similar to the ones above. Keep your answers focused. Focus on the question. Refer back to the question if you need to. Use the language of the question in your answer. So don't say changes in farming, say changes in agriculture. Actually use it, okay? Describe, pretty straightforward. Say it as you see it. That's what a describe is. Say it as you see it, okay? That's the most important thing. Say what you see. So just say what it looks like. Say what you see. You can see here, look, using figure 4, we've looked at this question before. Describe the track of Hurricane Irma between the 6th of September and the 12th of September. So have a look. You'd be looking at how it's moved. Spot the geographical terms. It maybe wants you to talk about the countries it's been located off and the specific dates. So just bear that in mind there. Again, pretty straightforward. If you've got a graph or a table that's using units, use the units. Place names with compass directions. So I believe on this question, if I remember rightly, Hurricane Irma at one point is just east off the coast of Cuba. So you would say, and this is me just, I don't know if this is correct or not, but you could say, I can see that on the 8th of September, Hurricane Irma is off the eastern coast of Cuba. Okay, so you use compass directions as well. It's just that extra little bit of geography goes a long way. Justify, basically just back up what you're saying. Just back up your words with data, with facts. Okay, so as you can see here, justify one primary data collection method used in relation to the aims of your physical geographical inquiry. Now, you did not do a physical geography inquiry. This is a fieldwork question. We did not do fieldwork. You did unseen fieldwork, but not fieldwork. But we can still look at it. Basically, you need to say one of your methods. So, for example, it could have been using a trundle wheel at the beach. And then you just need to say why you use that. You need to back yourself up. Okay? So that's all a justify really is, okay? It's arguing something and backing something up. Okay. If you come across a 3 mark question, they do have them. 3 mark questions are that odd little number that we don't tend to revise, but they do exist. 3 mark questions tend to just be ECS. Okay, so just bear that in mind. Focus on the why. If you are 9 marks, okay, state your opinion straight away if you need to. It says arguments can be one-sided or balanced. For a justify, that's okay, but I would always advise getting in a little bit of balance where you can, just because it shows you're considering it. Now, you don't have to be balanced. So if you've written a massive paragraph for an agree, You don't necessarily then have to do a huge paragraph for a disagree. Just do a quick evidence comment stretch. Okay, it doesn't have to be massive, but it just shows that you're considering the other side. And then conclude. Okay, be safe, conclude. Compare. Pretty straightforward. But again, as with questions like this, be specific. So you can see here, look, on the use the right language. Use it, X is high and Y is low. Oh, so it's using it as a different sort of explanation there. So it's saying, oh, well, actually, let me slow down. So this here, X is high and Y is low, that's actually just two descriptions. It's not a comparison. Okay, so if you use a connective, whereas or X is higher than Y, you're actually then linking the two together. Okay, so don't just make two separate comparisons, okay? But what I was going to say is, if you've got data, use the data. Okay, so for example here, look, X is 5 times higher than Y, so just bear that in mind. If there's anomalies, comment on them. Okay, they're there for a reason, comment on them. Okay, sorry, I got a little bit tongue-tied there. Calculate. You will get a calculator in your exam, so just bear that in mind. Be confident in the basic use of numeracy, so mean, median, mode, range, and interquartile. So, to be honest, that'll be all the averaging you probably need to be aware of. You may also need to do percentage increase and decrease, so just be confident in the use of your calculator for that. Often there isn't any written answer space for them, so don't miss them, okay? Give the units, be safe. It says take your calculator to your exam, but if you ask for one, you'll get one. Be aware with these questions, because often students don't realise this. If it says show your working, you must show your working. Often the mark scheme will stipulate that if you get the right answer, but you do not show your working, you will not get full marks. So you have to show your working. If you get the wrong answer, but your working is correct, you may get a mark. So just bear that in mind. And is this the last one? I think it is. Complete draw, label, AO3 and 4, just showing that application and use of skills for fieldwork skills. Pretty straightforward. Don't miss them. What students tend to do with these questions is rush. So they will fly through them, and you don't need to. Okay, just slow down, use a ruler, okay, and read the question carefully. There are so many occasions where I, as an examiner, have had to fail, or not fail, but I've not been able to award marks because a student has not used a ruler. And the reason is because it may not be precise enough to give the mark. Okay, AQA are remarkably tight when it comes to precision on these things. It wants you to be precise, so just bear that in mind. Okay, that's about it. So hopefully, like I say, that was useful for you in some way, just understanding these command words. Just be aware as well about what would be a tick cross model and what would be a process model. But I'm going to do a video on that soon anyway. Thank you so much, everybody, and take care. I'll see you soon.